My man Akon is here. Man, Akon, Joey franchise. I know we connected a very long time ago. So
Yep.
short story. I think you were around. I think when the Convicted album came out, you came. I was an intern at the time at 937 in Connecticut, in Hartford,
Wow.
and
But
you bucking them. Yup.
yep.
So it was my first day on the job as an intern. You pulled up, but it solidified that day because I got to meet you and everything. It solidified like, yo, this is exactly what I want to do. Fast forward to now, music director in Tampa Bay, and yeah,
Look at that.
just like
Ain't
damn,
that crazy?
it's crazy.
Man, I
So
love it, man. To see the growth, man, is
it's a
unbelievable.
beautiful day. It's been a
It's a
beautiful day
beautiful
every
day.
day since. So tell me about the record, man. I mean, it's happy to see you back out here. I feel like you and JR, man, just to see you guys connect again. I feel like you guys were just like sitting back watching everybody in the game right now. Like, oh, you know what, JR, let's see what, let's show these cats how to make a hit.
Yeah, because me and JR got a lot of history, man. We've been knowing each other way back since the early, careers of Sean Kingston and all those guys. We did a lot of records and hits together, me and JR. And interestingly enough, I was coming out with my new album. I said, "Yo, JR, what you up to these days?" He's like, "Man, just chilling." I said, "Okay, well, I'm about to come to Miami and rock with you because I'm about to start on my new album." So he's very researcher type of guy. So by the time I got there, he had like 5 different other records, but it was his one in mind that he said, "I got to show you this one first. This thing that went viral on TikTok, and I think you should redo the record." Now, mind you, JR has no idea that this is one of my old demos that I cut back in the day that got leaked online.
Oh
So when
wow, okay.
Right. So when he played it for me, it was like I was like, "Oh wow, bro, this is one of my old demos." It came together so perfectly as if almost this was meant to be. I also knew that it was time to put out more positive music in the environment, man. I wanted to kind of come up with a anthem that became more of a generational anthem for positivity in this music genre of now, because I realized that the vibrations of music lately has been very negative. A lot of drill rappers been dying, man, over this music stuff. Girls is only, promoting like harshly sexual things. So it's hard to really put a woman in a place you want to put them in because of how they're being degraded in the music industry and things of that nature. And I just wanted to create music that you can remember again, that bring back positive memories about what's going on in your lifetime. You know what I mean? I think those are the things that we were really good at the time when we were active in music at the time.
I know you got an album also in the works that you just mentioned a second ago, and another single on the
Yeah.
way called Money. So tell me a little bit more about that. What's been inspiring you to get back in the booth and put something together?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like that was the one thing that I was missing in my life, man. To be honest, between you and I thought I had low key retired. I ain't really got to put out no record no more. But then when I finally got back in the studio to really do it, I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. You know what I mean? And interestingly enough, I never let the music go because I was always writing and producing in the background for other artists. And a lot of the favorite artists that people know today, you'd be surprised how many of those records that I penned and produced, but I didn't promote it that way because I wanted to kind of stay behind the scenes so I can actually live a real life. But when I realized getting back in was what made me complete, that's when I said, okay, I got to go back in and just do it the right way and really start changing the game up a little bit.
I dig that, man, and it's good to have you back out here because yeah, I was hoping that that wasn't the case that you didn't retire because even now, like I just feel like you've never really you never lost a beat, bro. You sound great still on
Man,
record.
thank you, man.
What has also been inspiring you, like music wise, to are you experimenting with new sounds? Like how's it going this time around?
Yeah, so what really my inspiration coming out the gate this time is doing what everybody's afraid to do, and that's putting spirituality back in the music side. Because I feel like there's this contradiction that if you do positive spiritual music, that people won't support it because they're gonna, mix it up with gospel, and gospel music is more religious and it doesn't have a huge fan base. But I looked at it like, man, everybody's spiritual within. If you find the right direction of how to capture that spirituality to where it's entertaining, I think you go religious and you respect everybody's boundary of how they worship, then you're in a good place. But my thing is, let's just make music that feels good and have and generate messages that benefits every household and something that brings people together. As long as we do that, and I know that's what everybody really wants. I mean, for sure, the world would prefer peace than war. But if we can all now come into that same agenda and speak on that, then life will be different. So that's why I feel like this beautiful day is going to be the anthem of the music business for before the end of the year is out. Because it kind of almost gave me the feeling of Pharrell's Happy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that record can play in any environment, any family household, you know, anywhere in the world. Like I think records like that will always grow its own legs because it speaks to everybody. And I want to kind of make music that speaks to everyone.
That's awesome. Now, Akon, are you looking to collab with anybody? I know you're doing something. You got some shows going on with Burna Boy. He's honestly one of my favorites right now. Also, and is there anybody that you're looking to work with, hoping to collab with? Who's like impressing you in the game right now?
I mean, there's a few names in there that I'm impressed by, but I also realize the more names that I call out, there'll be names that I miss out. And then before you know it, me and that person is not speaking because he felt like I should have named him. So I keep a lot of those kind of things to myself because just being in the industry long enough to know that the smallest thing that could be complimenting another artist is offending someone else. So until everybody kind of grows thick skin and really want to support each other, I kind of keep those. But I think when the Iconic album come out, I'm gonna answer that question for you because every single record is gonna have a feature on it, and it's gonna be a feature of someone that I really highly admire and think that they're, to me, just all star acts.
That's awesome. I feel like also you were really ahead of the game. I mean, to see now Africa being, huge. I mean, you got, Burna Boy I just mentioned. You got guys like you had on your team, Kid back in the day. You had
Right.
also Tyler, who's doing her thing out there, and Joe Bird.
Right.
How proud are you of Africa as a whole? Just the fact that their music is now crossing over into the States right now and is pretty much worldwide.
Oh man, you have no idea. Like that's probably one of the most proud for moments for me because I know how much work we put in to kind of help to grow Afrobeat outside of Africa and help give it its global recognition. I mean, it was really hard. I remember in the earlier 2000, well, later 2000s, around 2008, 2009, when I was trying to shop Kid and all the major labels here in America, and they all thought that it was reggae music. You know, it was hard to distinguish the difference because they had never been experienced to it. So it was a tough thing, man. But I think now that it's actually opened up and the market has opened up and YouTube has actually gave us the platform for all those artists to be seen and recognized. I pay the YouTube a big homage because they opened the door for the world to see different things outside of America. You know what I mean? And then of course, when you look at these stations and such as you guys who open up the doors for international music and bring highlight to certain records that people aren't really putting focus on, it only changes the perspective of people and what we should also be looking out for, because sometimes people can kind of compartmentalize things and keep us in a box. So when you got stations that open up the door for the world to kind of get embraced and also be educating the audience and the listeners, those are the things that actually makes a difference, man. So I appreciate you guys for that.
Nah, no problem, man. And that's amazing. And that's so crazy that you saw the vision, before anybody else, and for it to now, be where it's at. So do you ever be like, damn, I try to tell y'all, what it
Nah,
is.
actually, I never do. I always let the success talk for me because oftentimes, again, people, we haven't really grown thick skins like that. So you don't want to offend people while you're trying to create a positive growth for everybody. You know what I mean? So sometimes people just don't know, and you got to educate them. And I think that's really the route we like to go. We just rather educate you.
And I feel like, you could have just chilled, bro. Like you put out Gaga, you put out Pain, and they've all had great careers and have gone on to do amazing things as well as yourself. Are you
Right.
also looking for artists? Or you just focused right now on just, doing you and your music right now?
Yeah, well, right now, we've turned convict music into now convict culture. So convict culture is definitely looking for brand new artists, brand new superstars. And as I'm going, my eye will be wide up open for them. So believe me, if you see me out there in these streets and you feel like you got what it takes, man, definitely pull up on me and let me know what it is. Because I believe you. I know one thing I do know about discovering artists: you never know where they're gonna come from. So I never wave an artist away or inspiring writer or producer. I always stop to listen to see where they're coming from.
That's cool. And I know you're really proud of what Beautiful Day is doing right now. Is there a record? Me personally, one of my favorite records from you is off the Convicted album with you and Payne. It was I Can't Wait. And I feel like that
Right.
record was so,
Man, me
it was
too,
never,
bro.
yo,
I swear that was one record that I was fighting. I was fighting the label to drop, man. I was like, yo, we gotta push this record, man. We gotta shoot a video for it. It's gotta be an official single. And man, we never got the love for it. But at that time, I couldn't really control my own career as far as distribution. But now, records like that, I'll never miss again. But I'm with you, bro. For real, franchise. That record to me it's not only that, but it's an album great because when I perform it, the crowd know every word from top to bottom. So it's one of them records. It wasn't a single for the world to know about it as a singled out from the album, but it is one of those album favorites, though, for sure.
Yeah, I had to share that because a friend of mine, DJ Cool out here in Tampa, like we literally broed out because he played the record one day we were DJing together, and I'm like, bro, what do you know about this? And then I'm like, this is the album cut. He's like, bro, this is like the best Akon record that never like made it.
That was never released, right?
And I'm like, bro, I agree.
Right.
Is there another record that you're also like proud of though, like that you've done, like either when you're performing it or the fans just embrace?
Yeah, man, it's a lot of those records like that, man, on the album because normally when I put out albums, I always try to make it to where every song is a single, but every single comes out according to a specific circumstance. So I was always prepared for certain things in my life to happen for certain singles to be dropped. And I think, Sorry Blame Me was one of those records where it happened at a time where I needed to say something to defend myself without going to the public, defending the actual situation. I just made a record about it, right? So I always had records for specific moments. And those are records that some I kept in the can the world never heard about, but then there's some that was actually released in case of someone else that might have been going through those situations, man. So records like that, I definitely believe. But I think one of them those favorites was Troublemaker. I always believe that Troublemaker was a huge single. Keep You Much Longer. I always felt like that was a big record.
Wish I could keep you much
longer.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Adam,
But that's why I feel so good when I go on tour because I can always perform all those songs and everybody know them still. So that's what tells me that those songs are still standing the test of time. And if I was to ever do a re-release for those specific albums, I'll reshoot those videos for songs that I wish could have been singles. I can now make singles. You know what I mean?
Do we have a timeline on when this new project is going to come out?
Yeah, well, the single is out currently right now. Obviously, we got money coming shortly, right before the album's gonna drop. The album's gonna drop in February, so look out for that, man. Black History Month is about to go crazy.
All right, honestly, with the catalog you have, why do you ever wonder why you've never been called for a Super Bowl?
I mean, it's all politics. That's one of the reasons why I had so-called retired because I just didn't want to deal with all the politics. I really wanted the audience to be able to choose from real stats and real numbers, and I think if I was ever graded on my real numbers, the question of where I stand in the music business wouldn't be a question. But of course, because of the politics and all the moves that's being made politically and agenda-wise and label, leveraging, those are the things that I didn't really like about the music business. And that's why I stepped away from it a little bit.
I respect that. Next question. What's going on with the city the Akon City that you were working on, the Wakanda?
Oh yeah, no, we're still working on it. It's of course as a city, it's gonna take a few years, 10 to be exact. But for the most part, because we're building a full city with a full infrastructure, a lot of people thought the city was already built. But I think where I came from, I kind of promoted it before I started it. So people was anticipating something to happen right off the bat, not realizing that it was just a concept and a dream that I was coming up with. But now we're actually in process of making it happen.
I love it, man. All good stuff, man. It's a beautiful day, Akon.
It's beautiful day every day, baby.
I got to talk to you. We got to connect real quick. It was good, man. Really appreciate you, for real.
Thank you, J Franchise. I appreciate you, brother.